Everything is going extremely well.
And now, showtime.
Welcome, everybody. It is so good to see you here. Sorry, last week we didn't have a show. We were doing a debate. Hopefully you got to see some of that debate. If not, you're more than welcome to check it out. It was myself and Nick Shackelford was the host or the moderator. Jordan West of Social Commerce Club was the host, and Jordan Menard of Motif Digital was the person I was debating. It's a very interesting debate, and seems to have thankfully inspired a lot of conversation in the industry. It's very interesting, and I will say it's very clear that Jordan was like a debate champ in high school. Absolutely clear. So I hope you check it out and look at it. I think there are some lessons to be learned. I will say that the debate is interesting, and that I think there are very mixed decisions on who won the debate. I think the people that watched, that got to see how two people operate and two people think, and the content of their character and their message and the work that they do and how they do it, I think those are the people that win. So what matters to me most is that you all get great value out of what we're doing here. Oh, hey, StoryCorps, good to see you. First time I've seen you chat. Hey, what's going on? So with that being said, we're going to get right into it today, because that debate was all about scaling. That debate was quite specifically the question that we had to prove, and Jordan said, yes, it's true, and I said, no, it's not, is that the only way to scale to 100,000 a day is by launching tons of ads. And by tons of ads, I'm not talking hundreds a week. Jordan showed an account that had 9,993 ads. Whether they were active or not, I don't know. The screenshot didn't show that. But he was claiming essentially that he launched essentially 10,000 ads, and that's how that account got there. Now, he later did say that he never made the claim that launching those ads got to that place, and it wasn't his account. That's neither here nor there. What we really want to focus on is how to scale a business. And my opinion of launch more and test more, I personally think that the data and the science and the logic shows that there's really no way that works. And thank you, Daniel. I appreciate it. Let's just there we go, man. I love it. So, on a complete aside, one of the reasons I think that launching that many ads doesn't work is because of the permutations of data. There is no way for anyone at any budget to launch 1,000 ads and know it actually made the bank account better or worse. If you can't measure it, if you can't prove it, it's basically just ego. That's my opinion. But I also think most people run Facebook ads the old way, and that just doesn't work anymore. And through my agencies and brands and clients, I've managed over $1 billion on Facebook ads. And now I help people use Meta to grow, get customers, and make money. Plus, of course, running my businesses and helping people more directly, right? So in this video, I'm going to really walk you through the playbook that I use right now, right? That's what we're going to really get through. And then we're going to open up YouTube and just like go to the comment sections. And it is wild. I pissed off Regina George, and all of her little ones just came flying after me. So for a long time, I thought scaling ads was kind of like magic, right? Like you try to test new ads, you lower your costs, you chase high ROAS, and sometimes it worked. And then inevitably you raise your budget and everything stops. And it's so easy to do that and say, well, my ads are tired, or the ads have fatigued, or Meta's broken. But the honest truth is that's just not true. The real reason, in my opinion, is that scaling is about cost or ROAS. Those numbers don't show if your business can grow. Your bank account has no reflection on whether your performance on the ad according to attribution is. And a winning ad might look great today, but if it breaks and you spend more, I'd argue it's not really a winner. It's just what got you this far. And if you want to go farther, what you don't need is a faster racehorse and 1,000 more ads. You need something that actually gets you to the place you want to go. Everybody wants that one ad that works like magic. And most winning ads don't really scale. To be fair, every new ad is launched at the bottom of the funnel to test to see if it works. So they look good and then they die immediately. It's a process issue, right? And they look good because they're shown to people who are already ready to buy. In my opinion, that's not real growth. That's just timing. That's distribution. That's stealing credit from one hand to pay for the other. And when you spend more, your ads reach more, and most of those people aren't ready to buy. So your costs go up. So you're judging only by cost. You failed in your thinking. But you didn't fail. You just need to look at the bigger picture. My point to that is, I think there are two kinds of brands. Ones that try to make profit from their ads. They spend money and hope to get it back fast. I would say that's not really a business. That's a salesperson. And that's guessing. That's not an operational system built on cash flow. The other kind is business that already has operations, but they're focused on the wrong numbers, looking at CPA and ROAS. They look smart on paper, but they really struggle to grow. These are the businesses that skyrocket to a point and never can get further. Real growth takes from taking some of your profit and using it to reach more people. That's how a strong business grows. A percentage of your profit is your ad spend. You are always profitable. Trying to make profit from ads alone just doesn't work. It's like opening a restaurant and then trying to learn how to cook. It just, if you don't have profits, I would argue you don't have a budget with which to invest in ads. Now, here's how to know it's working. You can ask yourself, what happens right before somebody buys? Let's just do more of that. If your conversion rate is at 3% and others are getting a 1, your funnel isn't broken. You just need more traffic. I've talked to somebody where their page was converting at 10% and they were like, well, I'm just launching more ads. I was like, you don't need more ads, man. You just need more people to see it. But if your conversion rate is less than 1%, you need better traffic and a better offer. Honestly, you probably need a better page. Good traffic and a strong offer, making more money from the same clicks. That's how it works. Or you just get more people to buy from you so you can have a greater volume of money with which to invest. And by more people, I don't mean just a higher number of people buying once, get them to buy over and over again. Now, I've given this example before, but let's talk about a steakhouse. There's one around the corner from my apartment in Manhattan. They have a salad that costs $20 after tip. Now, that's super profitable, but it's not why people come back. People come back for the steak. Even if they don't make much money on that first steak, they make way more when those people come back again and again and again. The first sale makes the least money. The repeat sales make the most. And you will see people will like, I really actually like your back-end optimization, but that's not about the ad. I'd argue it's everything about the ad. Don't build your business on the salad. Build it on the steak, your hero offer. Find the ads that get the customers who are going to buy again and again. That's the one thing your best customers love. It's your money machine, and cash flow, not profit, is what keeps your business alive. If you can sell the steak and those people come back, when they come back, you have more ad budget to spend on selling more steak. Anything that gets in the way of that is stupid. Once you know your best product and your best customer, the rest is just simple math. Make sure your average order value is higher than your average cost per sale. Blend it across the entire business. Then turn up the volume. Don't change things. If you can raise your budget, the worst thing you do is test a new ad. Spend money to get your best customers. Sell them your best offer. Get them to come back. That's how you scale a business. Use part of your profit to go find more of those people. Over time, each new customer costs less and less because the old ones keep buying. In a blended version of things, if 0% of your sales are from repeat customers, then the actual money out and volume of transactions is a real reflection of your attributed CPA. For instance, if I spend $100 and I get 2 customers, that's a $50 CPA. If I spend $100 and I get 2 customers, but 2 previous customers buy again, that's a $25 CPA. Regardless of the attribution on Facebook, Facebook might say, oh, we take credit for 1 sale. It's a $100 CPA, but it's actually $25. $100 out, 4 sales. And if you're getting a $25 CPA, just get more people that are likely to buy again. The way you scale a business is not by launching more ads. It's not by destabilizing the top of the funnel. The funnel isn't actually what scales a business. What scales a business is the volume of cash flow you have, what we call cash flow cycles. When somebody buys from you, how likely are they to buy again? And when they buy again, and those second and third and fourth transactions are exponentially more profitable than the first. A business is about acquiring as many profitable transactions as you can. Now, you can do everything in the world to try to make the first sale more efficient. Or you can do everything in the world to try to get as many people who are going to give you far more profitable transactions. And I get it. Why would you do that if you can launch 1,000 ads or 10,000 ads and spend $100,000 a day doing it? My argument is, what if you didn't need to? What if you could see the same volume of profit on $10,000 a day with 10 ads? It's totally possible. Ad spend isn't a flex. It's great. Oh, look how much I got my budget. I don't care. How much money are you making? And what matters more than that is, how much money would you make if you didn't run the ads? How good is your business? Because as soon as you figure out how to be successful at business, you stop wanting to run 1,000 ads. The worst thing you could possibly do, I would never tell somebody that is scaling their business from 1 million to 5, from 100,000 to 1 million. I would never say, great, you figured out how to get a customer that buys again and again. You figured out exactly who those people are. Awesome. Now go launch 1,000 ads to talk to nobody like what you currently do. That makes no sense. That's really stupid. And all of those new ads are being launched at the bottom of the funnel. So all they're doing in testing, and this is something Jordan disagreed with, but I have the empirical data from the engineering team that says, yes, that's what's happening. As I talk to the people that design the algorithm that actually do it, there's also a logical execution that new ads will be shown to people who are most likely to see them, because it's in Facebook's best interest to give people a positive user experience. And because we know how the organic algorithms on every social media platform work. So every new ad you launch, it might get a win, but that's a false positive by just stealing credit from an ad that was already running. Sales that would have already happened. So if you're going to make 100 sales, if you can do it with 5 ads, why would you try to do it with 100 ads? Instead of getting 1 or 2 days of good performance, because an ad comes in and basically is just the cashier when people are already in the checkout line. That's not a reason anybody came into your store. That makes no sense. It's just ridiculous. And there's this big gap between what Meta is saying, and to be fair, I've never been one that says just take what the platform says as an absolute. I don't think that trusting an algorithm or trusting a platform and a sales team on the best way to use the tool makes the most sense. And every business is different. There are businesses where launching 10,000 ads might absolutely be the thing. I would say that's probably 1% of 1% of 1% of businesses. But for any business to get to 100,000, something that every business could do, you can do this right now. Figure out the customer that buys again. Have the fewest amount of ads so they get smartest, so that they become the smartest ones you have. That get that person to come to your store. That's it. That's how you make money. And then as soon as those people come back and buy again, well, you've got more money. To put it simply, if your CPA is $50 today, and 10% of people buy again in, let's say, 30 days, just to throw it out there. I'm not saying that's your business. That might seem completely unreasonable, whatever. I'm using a simple example. Well, that means if you maintain that $50 CPA for 30 days, on day 31, it's a 45. Because like we talked about earlier, I don't care about attribution. If you make good from 2 sales a day and then all of a sudden you're making 4, your blended CPA comes down. Now, if my CPA comes down by 10%, and I have all these customers coming back in, buying again, I could take some of that added profit and throw it back into ads. Now, if I cut my CPA by 10%, maybe I can increase my budget by 5. And people say, well, I'm trying to scale. I want to get to $100,000. You can't do that at 5%. Hear me out. Compounding interest is the single most powerful force in the universe, unless you're a religious person, and then it might be the second most powerful. If you had 5% 3 times a week, and you start at $500, in a year you're at $130,000. If you want to get to $130,000 a day in ad spend, profitably the entire time, that's how you do it. That's how any business can do it. And to get there, at some point, the more ads you launch, the harder it is to continue to grow, because you're just attracting a higher volume of lower quality person, which means that every decision you made on your search, your landing page, your email, your offer construction, your bundles, all of that is completely undermined because you've built your entire business on how to get the person that walks in the steakhouse to love it and come back and bring 3 of their friends next time. If you then say, we're going to get more money, we're going to add 1,000 things to the menu and spend a ton of advertising dollars promoting everything else. Every example in business where somebody did that, the business failed. A great example, for those that want to do some homework, Boston Market. It used to be Boston Chicken. Then they did exactly what people like Jordan tell you to do. And within, I think, 8 years, they went from like the 3rd largest, like I don't quote me on these numbers. They went from one of the fastest growing fast casual businesses to out of business, because they focused on things that weren't how the business worked. If you want to make a lot more dollars, that doesn't make any sense. So now we need to ask ourselves 3 questions. How many customers do I need to buy? How much can I spend to get one? And how do I make that number bigger? If you can spend more money tomorrow than today, you're scaling. The reason you can afford more is because what the bank account looks like, not the ad account. And if you can't, fix the problem. Low volume, your costs are too high. Low profit, your prices are too low. Wrong audience, you're wasting money. So grow slowly and smart. Again, raise your budget by 5% a few times a week, and you can go from 500 to 130,000. When you know your numbers, you stop guessing at the ad level and you start growing your business. Your job is simple. Protect the yes. If your system says, yes, I can spend more money, keep scaling. If it says no, then fix it until you get a yes. Ads don't make your business grow. Ads don't make your business, they grow it. If you chase cheap ads, you're going to burn out. If you focus on repeat buyers instead of cash flow, you can scale for years in a very controlled fashion that is easy to manage. So when you ask, can I scale? Make sure the answer is yes. That's your entire job. Now, that might mean you have to test new ads, and I'm absolutely, totally in favor of creative testing. On that debate with Jordan, I laid out exactly how we do it. But remember, scaling isn't about hacks. It's about removing what doesn't work and feeding what does, and then improving your weakest link. That's how all of this stuff works. And this is a concept we call second scale, focusing on that second transaction of the more valuable customer. And I will say this, Andromeda has made focusing on second scale easier than ever before. You're going to see some people say, because it is a smarter machine, so it's how you use it. You're going to see some people say, well, Andromeda is so much smarter, we can spam the machine even more. And yes, I do think launching 1,000 ads is spamming the machine. I think launching 100 ads is spamming the machine. But to be fair, this is all subjective. I think if you launch so many ads that you cannot get any statistical data around what's good or what's bad and why, and more importantly, the machine can't, then you've thrown so much at it that it can't do its job. I define that as spamming the machine. If, however, you understand exactly how your funnel works to get the highest quality customer, and then you just look at what's broken and you fix it, you're going to be able to do more the next day. Doing more the next day and only spending your profits on ads means that you're constantly scaling and you're always profitable. I'll take that 10 times out of 10. That's my opinion. Again, subjective view. Okay. what I want to get to here, what we need to do is open up the receipts. And I apologize in advance for the character and nature of a lot of this stuff that we've been getting, because, well, I think we've upset a lot of people. And it's not my goal to upset folks. My focus is not in any way to prove people wrong or like own the whatever. My focus, just get this over here. Okay. My focus is trying to help people be more successful. And I try to do that by presenting logic and reasoning and a valid argument and listening to people who don't agree with me. I love when people don't agree with me and can present a valid conversation of saying, no, here's something else. We should all be open to folks challenging our ideas. However, I think, unfortunately, a lot of folks take the challenging of an idea as an attack on them personally. And I will say that I think a lot of folks define their value, their self-worth, their ego, their id is defined on their ability to make a ROAS number higher, to make the ad account spend greater. So when I say that what you're doing isn't the only way and there's potentially a better way, a lot of people, I think, take that as a personal attack. And I don't know how to phrase it differently so that they don't feel attacked. I am wildly open to that because I think I'm trying to come with a cool head and respect. But if my message is the reason, if the way I communicate means the message doesn't get across, well, I'm getting my own way and I want to do better. So anyway, but that being said, let's get through it. As home, 7622. I don't understand how an ad will fatigue when we're doing an evergreen way. Those who bought something or saw something from campaign A will move to campaign B. There's no chance that it'll fatigued while we have less than 30% of audience overlap, specifically top of funnel, not going to fatigue. This Jordan is like textbook LMAO. Yeah. I don't disagree. I think the concept that your ad is fatiguing is wild. Like a decade ago, I had $1 million a day budget for like one account, and we might run 3 ads. That was with CBS television. It's not e-commerce. Got it. Here's the thing. It would take me several days to reach 85% of Americans 2.5 times. Now, I get that that's a massive audience. There's also $2 CPMs. That's the equivalent of spending $10 million a day for a week, for half a week, just to get people to have seen your ad 2.5 times. Now, maybe your market is smaller than all of America. Sure. But my point is, the idea that the ad has been shown to everybody that would possibly see it, and the reason it's not working anymore is because everybody's made the decision yes or no, means that that ad is only good against the attention you already have. And generally, the reason ads fatigue in the first few days is because they were never good to begin with. And it's not that they're bad, it's that you don't even know. Because new ads launch at the bottom of the funnel. They're just stealing credit from some other sale, some other ad. And then we're evaluating whether they're good or bad based on how much credit they can take from somebody else in the first few days. And raise your hand if this sounds like you. I launch a bunch of ads and they all die in a few days, so I have to continue to launch more. My advice would be stop launching so many ads. Figure out how to afford a sustainable bit of ad spend to the place where you're not asking your ads to do work they can't do. Establish some controls. And I've gotten into some arguments with people on Twitter saying you can't apply the scientific method to Twitter or to Facebook ads. There's too many moving variables. Like, homie, we've identified the size and the age of like black holes on the other side of the fucking universe. based on like shifts in like ultraviolet ray, like intensity and color spectrums. That's exponentially more difficult than launching 20 ads on Facebook to see which one wins. The idea that the scientific method doesn't apply because it's too complicated is ridiculous. That's a whole other thing. Anyway, textbook LMAO. I agree with you, buddy. Thanks for the support. Buzz Express Trends. What a rigmarole. Focus more on actionable advice, real actions, and to implement over verbiage, man. Okay. Appreciate that, Buzz Express. This is my give me 10 minutes. I'll improve your meta ads. I hear you. Not every video is about actions. I try to be as educational in concept as with action. But to your point, Buzz Express, if you watch the channel and you look on Mondays, every Monday on this channel, we either put out a debate or a response video to somebody else's thing, or ad account audits and funnel audits, where we literally just pop open the hood and we get straight into it. This Monday, for instance, we're opening up an ad account of somebody from Disruptor Academy. Every month, we do full deep dive account audits in Disruptor Academy. Shout out to that. You can go to disruptorschool.com/academy or just go to disruptorschool.com, join the academy. It's like $150. And you get full courses, help from me anytime you have a question, and we'll dive into your ad account once a month. I usually charge $4,000 for an ad account audit. You can get it for $147. You can even get an annual plan, where I think it's like pay for 6 or 7 months, you get the rest of the year for free. We're also adding in software to do all the hero offer analysis for everyone. So you'll stop promoting 10 different offers because everything has a profit and start actually promoting the thing that gets you more cash flow so you can afford more ad spend regardless of attribution. But Buzz Express, I hear you. I recommend that you take a look at some other videos. On Mondays, we do action. On Wednesdays, we do education. On Fridays, we do a live. That's how this channel works. I hope you enjoy it. I hope you stick around, and I haven't upset you so much that you don't look at that. Because if you're looking for actionable advice, we're pop open the hood in real accounts every week. Okay. Dan, followed for a while, respect your approach. I'm in the camp of people who I think would prefer to see some actionable items with an ad account. Would have far greater impact. Totally respect it. Yeah, same thing, Dan. Love that. I appreciate it. And we absolutely do that on a regular basis. Stick around on Monday, Dan, and you will 100% meet inside of an ad account cooking. So let's have some fun. All right. Talking so much, no actual teaching. If you already had billions and millions, why not teach 50% of what you know for free, not misleading? Maybe God will have mercy and finally make you decide to uncolored your nail and balance your brain. Okay, Andy. Grammar's not great. I feel like I understand the derogatory message here. If the color of my nails, if the gel on my nails and my tattoos in my hair because I've played punk rock is upsetting to you, find somebody else. You don't need to be here. Nobody's forced you to listen to what I have to say. If you want to hear it today, listen to me. If you want to hear it 3 years from now, go ahead and listen to everybody else. Nobody's forcing you to be here. There are no victims in this classroom. Michelle Pfeiffer, right? Anyway, thanks for the comment, Andy. I got a lot of comments from folks like you, and it did wonders for the distribution of the message of this channel, so thank you. Owen Kelly, 5 minutes in and still not a single piece of actionable advice. All ChatGPT mumbo jumbo clickbait video. Well, I'm sorry I didn't find actionable advice in these videos, Owen. I didn't say what the magical button is. Frantesque, do you read chat or just comments? I do read the chat, but we have a lot of comments to get through. Oh man, I'm gonna blow this. I'm sorry. White kid from the suburbs, not as cultured as I should be. Frantesque, I'm gonna get through the last 7 days, then we'll address the chat. Then I'm going to come back and try to catch all the way up to the last 7 days. And we are not going to leave anything open. I will respond to everything today because we missed last week. So we got to double down. So I'm just trying to get through it. All right. So post a comment, stick around. I will get to you in the order in which it's received. And I hope you're here. So if I ask questions, you can give me back because odds are I'm going to ask at least one question from you to help you as much as possible. All right. Owen Kelly says 5 minutes in, not a piece of actionable advice. And I agree. There's no advice in this video, give me 10 minutes, that says click this magic button. Because the honest truth is, there's no magic button. The way you scale a business is by being better at business. A good business is what scales an ad account. That is a line from Cody Plofker, who also disagreed, who voted for Jordan in the debate. And it's interesting to me that Francis, okay. Yeah, okay. Love it. Thank you, Francis. And thank you for the support. Ignore that alt Christian stuff. Yeah, I was raised in the church, Roman Catholic, as a child. And I paid attention to all the little letters in the book on Sunday. And that message from our man before, I think, goes against the ethos of love thy neighbor and essentially mind your own fucking business and be a good person. Anyway, there we go. So Owen Kelly, I'm sorry you didn't find value in it. All chat GPT mumbo jumbo. Cool, man. Sergio, why are you watching the video? If you can just ask chat. Cool. You got one subscriber? Why don't you do better than chat and share your message? Tag me in it. I'll watch. I dare you. Make a 2-hour video. I'll sit there and watch the whole damn thing. Call me out on it. I would love to. Provide some value and let me know. And yeah, some is educational, some is actionable. Sometimes the most educational thing you can give somebody is that action is the wrong thing. Linda says, is your program good for companies just starting the Facebook ad journey? Linda Hill, the MBA program right down here is great for businesses that are. If the price point or level of complexity is too much, a lot of businesses start in Disruptor Academy and then make their way to the MBA program. I recommend folks do that generally, unless you're like, I'm sick and tired of paying other people that don't care about me and don't know what they're doing to take advantage of my bank account. Then, hey, let's just empower you to never need anybody else ever again. That's what this is right there. Okay. Val, spilling the tea. Well, thank you. Xander, powerful stuff, so easy to get caught up in the vanity metrics. Yep. See, like, it's interesting. People are saying no value, and then other folks who, to be fair, have an actual profile picture, they disagree. Who knows? All right. Props to you both and the organizers for giving us this Golden Great format. Thank you, David. I think it was great to see. I've been trying to get Jordan to do this for a few years. And then he got the deck from Facebook that he shows. And I confirmed with him that I would not be sharing an ad account because a current state of an ad account today is not how somebody got there, nor is it prescriptive of how other people can get there. And once I confirmed that I wasn't showing it and he had a deck in his hand, he agreed to show up. He bailed twice and then agreed to show up. Basically, he knew my entire argument, which I had no issue giving him because my goal wasn't to win the argument. It was simply to help people learn. And he comes out, basically, he woke up and chose violence. And so I was like, okay, cool. I'm just going to help people. All right. Deep Singh. Oh, man, I apologize for that. I butchered that name. I'm 100% with it. You want Charlie? You're the real deal because you have the real sense of how business scale, not just by mindlessly stacking more ads, but by identifying the problem and solve for it. I also see the valid point of not sharing the screenshots as other gurus do, and you're right. Not wanting to steal the credit for others by sharing the screenshots, stating it was all me. Thanks. Yeah. Love it. And I see the chat blowing up, everybody. I can look up occasionally and see things. I'm going to get through until we have the last 7 days covered, and then we're diving all into the chat, and then we're going to come back and clear out the comments, okay? So please stick around. Griffin, I see your stuff. There's a lot of people doing things. There's a whole conversation apparently going on about engagement stuff. We're going to get there. Okay. Great and interesting points addressed here. Appreciate it. Love it. What do you make of a clothing brand on a broad campaign with a 0.5 CTR, $2 CPM, and a 40 cent all manual ads at a launch, trends, CPM, CPC, and CTR lower since October? It makes sense to me that if your CPM is lower, your CTR would be lower too, because you're reaching a higher volume of lower quality traffic. Click-through rate has nothing to do with performance. It has everything to do with total impressions by total clicks. Okay, we're just yapping here. Hey, look, I yap all the way, but I'm going to read everything that you say. So I respect your time here, Francis. Okay. What do you make of a clothing company doing this? I wish I could give you more advice. What I am seeing is that since October, you're getting better at reaching a broader audience. And that means that your cost per click might be going down and your CTR is going down because the numerator, the top number in the fraction, is growing faster than the denominator, the lower number in the fraction. But if the volume is higher, fantastic. I wish I knew more information. I'm going to comment back to you saying that we talked about it today. And if you see that and ask more questions, we'll dive into it. Pure gold. Yeah, I think the 10 minutes video was fantastic. Just trying to cram everything I could into 10 minutes. Let's see. I always cut off 60 days of customers for add to cart and view content message ads. Is that not the right thing to do? I generally don't do message ads for add to cart and view content. If you are targeting those people, I think annoying somebody for 2 months is a great way to be like, look, if I've pissed you off for 2 months, you didn't buy, you're probably not going to buy. I generally don't hit these style people that aggressively. I would really need to know a bit more about the business, libertarian country. But I will say that the number one way for me to really know what's going on here or give you the best advice is to take a look at the performance of the business. And if you decided to get rid of this message, what happens to the bottom line when it comes to volume of profit? And you can do it slowly, or you can do what we call a smoke test, where you just turn it off for like a week or two and just measure what happens. If you turn it off for like a week, I would imagine the first few days things hurt. And then after that, it might get better. That's my assumption, but I don't know. But that would be what I would expect, and that's how I would measure it. Again, bank account, not attribution. Real money, not fancy math. Didn't expect this to be contentious. Me neither, Sunday Swagger. But hey, some people choose to be aggressive. Some people choose to be helpful. Jordan chose his fighter early, and so did I. I'm a Charlie on this. You can't beat having the foundations of the business on lock. I don't know anyone to be bragging about running 9,000 ads if you don't have to. I agree with you, Johnny. It's not a flex to say that, in my opinion, it's not a flex to say you're so bad at what you do that you need to do that much work. But that's me. That other dude was too heated from the beginning. I agree with you. Thumbs up. Thanks. Jordan is like one Power Ranger obeying instructions, but Charlie's like Zordon that sees the bigger picture. Power Rangers are replaceable, but Zordon is one of one. I'm with Zordon. Filming guy. Thanks. I didn't expect a Power Rangers reference, but okay. I feel like both these guys are arguing different things. Charlie is arguing how to take most advantage of every person who buys, decreasing costs, increasing cash flow. Great. Jordan is arguing how to market and get more new people to buy effectively, scaling. Great. Both are okay. Let's move on. Yeah. Well, Jesse, I agree with you. Both of these ways could work. Jordan made the argument that there was only one way of doing it. And his way was the only way, which he also didn't even prove that his way even worked. I by no means do I think there's only one way to do things. We talk all the time about tool for the job. So I love this. Whoa, easy, Tiger. Let's not move on. I watched the debate twice. Honestly disappointed with Charlie. Your experience, I expected examples or to learn some data to support your plans. I wrote back. I wish I would have been more effective in the call for you. First, I told Jordan that it would not be showing an ad account because it didn't show the how. It doesn't show the cause or the effect. And as for teaching I chose to remain educational while Jordan focused on me as a person, instead of presenting evidence or making a case. Jordan, for all his flaws, did bring something to show. Cool. Yep. He brought a deck from Facebook and a screenshot of somebody else's ad account. You didn't respond to key points or challenge him directly. I mean, if the first half hour is him just insulting me, I don't have anything to respond to. And then when he did present information, I called it out. And I didn't use any obscenities other than, I don't think I did. Calling out his professionalism didn't help my case. Cool. Just felt like a missed opportunity. I'm sorry. I could have been. Jordan is a debate champ from high school, and he chose violence early. I chose to be helpful, and maybe I could have done something. I suspected that Charlie was just a theorist. Maybe he could get used to some results back in the day, but now he's just selling his business and his strategy, which completely falls apart in practice. I don't know, Alexi. These theories go back decades, if not hundreds of years. Jordan saying real practical things, he didn't actually say anything other than Facebook says we should follow this process and here's somebody else's ad account. But if your practical advice is launch 10,000 ads, I don't think that's practical advice at all. And he didn't actually prove that it was. But hey, if you found somebody that speaks to you and that's going to help you be successful, awesome. By no means do I think there's only one way to do things, which again, I think most people would agree with, except for Jordan, because his entire premise was that there was only one way to do something. And because he said there's only one way, I presented multiple examples of how you could do it differently. Case closed. Lucas says, debate 1. This is a moment when Jordan asks me if I'm going to present the information, which I told him beforehand I wouldn't. So that's an intellectually dishonest point, but that's neither here nor there. My point is, a screenshot today doesn't show the cause and the effect. And the fact that Jordan only agreed to do it when I told him I wouldn't do it. And then honestly, what I found interesting is Jordan apparently claims to be running a business that's spending this much money. He founded a business that's spending that much money, is his claim. And he does it that way, but he didn't share that one. And yeah, I am managing accounts that are spending that much day profitably, and sometimes zero. Hopefully that helps, Lucas. He's saying it's pointless to show that. Thank you, Johnny. Yeah, I think that having a good business, the finance department choosing the marketing budget is not dependent on how many ads you have in the account. Feels like Jordan has a lot of knowledge to offer in debate procedure. Definitely agree. I think this is the perfect summation, Tommy. All right, we are just getting into a whole lot of folks arguing about the debate. We got to get through all this. Okay, regardless of whose side, I think the debate revealed a lot about each person's character. One is contentious, the other is calm. Gets his point across without telling the viewer how they should feel about the other person. Well, there we go. Jordan was the person attacking and then accusing Charlie of doing it. Thank you. Charlie, I love, like you, I'm always saying, you're my mentor on Meta, but you lost the debate. Cool. And then you got some folks agreeing with it. Cool. I think I could have debated better, but again, he was a debate champ in high school, and I chose to be educational when he chose to be aggressive. You know, he went low and then went way low, so I just stayed high and provided value because I didn't want to waste everybody's time. I absolutely could have been more aggressive to win the debate, but for me, the win is people watching the video and learning something. And I think if I help people because they paid attention to what I had to say, then I win. The fact that I also won on all points of the debate also helps. Jordan did not prove that his way was the only way. He did not prove that the way that he was talking about required 20 creative concepts a week. He did not prove that that's how you scale to 100,000. And he didn't prove that it was done profitably. I started this video off with how to do it at a profit, the exact structure and process. And I did it in like 10 minutes. In an hour, Jordan never landed that plane. Bro, you didn't say anything or explain anything. It's a shame we have like videos this. We need our time back. Worst 13 minutes ever spent. Look, if you watched all 13 minutes and you found no value in it, thank you for the view time. There's nothing I can do to give you that time back on your deathbed, but I would have bailed after like a minute. But thanks for the view time. And hey, look, now you know to never watch any other video from me. Jordan Fellas shared a screenshot. So if all those ads active, he never said that. How many times does Meta Ads Manager show recommendation to improve your ROAS? Yeah, I think we're kind of hammering this point home, and I appreciate the comment sections. I want to get to some helpful stuff here, but I also said, and we do this in everything, if you comment, you will get time. I want to make sure that everybody gets respect. The Jordan guy's looking for a fight, not a debate. He seems bitter and defensive from the start. Yeah, I don't know why he'd be defensive when he got to open the debate. He literally opened with defensiveness. Like, why? How is this a debate? Next round, Charlie gets a brand that can only tweak economics. First, Jordan gets only to tweak the ad to profitably go over a month. Yeah, I think Jordan would get owned in that case. I'll say Jordan is consistently doing personal attacks, but he's got a point and proof from Meta itself. I don't necessarily disagree with what Jordan said. Oh, here we go. I already kind of responded to this. The point of the conversation isn't that his way won't work. It's that he said it was the only way. I'm aware of Charlie's approach to growing a biz, but not replying tailored to the arguments made. Yeah, it was not my responsibility to reply to all of his arguments. He didn't present anything of value till 20, 30, 40 minutes in. I did in like the first 5. So anyway, what do you do with 20 ads that aren't working at my ad level, at my spend level? I guess make new ads and better ones just to meet the volume threshold. Yeah, there is no volume threshold. If you're running 20 ads and it's not working for you, for me, I would go back and say, what are the customers that are best for you? And how do I get more of them? And if you are struggling in your business, if you can't make more money, or if it's not profitable, I would argue that maybe 20 ads is way too much. I would probably prune them out. The ones that earn spend with a CPA above average and a GPT below, turn those off. And then prune away what doesn't work, run a 4PI analysis and understand what the weakness is, and then launch small creative tests to make your weakest link stronger. And then you might not win, but you're going to get better. And if you're constantly getting better, winning is an inevitability. I agree with your perspective, mate. What he said and showed was in line with Meta's new instructions, that the machine is thirsty for volume and new creatives, and that it's better to change bi-weekly. Sure. So what to believe now? I don't know. You can believe Meta's engineering team with an argument supported by a guy who has an agenda to push for his ad agency, and his friends run creative shops. I'd say there's more than one way to do the job. And I don't take the word from platforms as gospel. I don't see that. This is the worst update ever. Man, I disagree. I think the Andromeda update is actually phenomenal. All it did was make doing it the wrong way worse and doing it the right way, better. There's a reason why a lot of the people in Disruptor Academy and a lot of the folks in the MBA program are seeing better success. Now, there is a larger macroeconomic issue of the United States government manufacturing a recession worldwide that is difficult for people to overcome, but the work is easier. Charlie didn't show any ad accounts spending 6 figures, only a bunch of ads because there is none. That's over. Actually, I've been posting every day since the debate on Twitter with screenshots of people whose ad accounts where they said I could share their ad account because Jordan was such a joke. All right. Jordan, where's your motif agency these days? I told you one thing you remember. You won't be able to compete with us in SERP with a stolen name. Yeah. Oh, that's interesting. Some drama. Motif. Yeah, there we go. I have an Advantage Plus audience. See, there we go. Now we're getting this. Man, we're still only 3 days ago. Okay, let's get to it. Chat, I see you at the top of the hour, regardless of where we're at here. I'm going to come into the chat and just like blow through some stuff. Man, this is going to be a long one. But as long as you're here, I'll be here. All right, we're gonna get through all of this stuff. Okay. All right. I have an Advantage Plus audience with a lookalike suggestion. Do you think it would hinder my scale? Yes, but it might not hinder your efficiency today. But I would not use a lookalike. I'm either using broad retargeting or I'm going full broad. Should I switch to broad? If yes, then how? Launch a broad ad set and then slowly pivot resources and even use some spend mins or maxes to force the machine to spend over there. The lookalike is going to look better, but your bank account won't. The more the lookalike has. So let's focus on that. Let's say we scale a budget 5% 3 times a week, and then it comes to the point where we have to pause the ads because the business shut down. When we resume ads, should I keep the same scaled budget? Yeah, go for it. You don't have to start over from the top. The ads have learned what to do. I love Charlie's expressions. Well, thank you. One thing I've learned as a media buyer is that there's no single way of doing things. I agree with that. I was already saving for Facebook ads and NBA, but I'll pause as I'm doubting Charlie's legitimacy. He's so weird about not showing an ad account. I'm sorry, you know. If the reason you don't want to work with me is because I showed integrity around how to do the process and not violating people's privacy, so be it. How many nails in the coffin? Well, we are doing it every single day. Please share the screenshots here in your community too. I should do that, your choice. I will do that. I will do that. I will do that, and then please go tag Purpose for him to see it. Dude has a point, show us some case studies. I presented 2 of them. Just doing a separate video. Honestly, I'm questioning your legitimacy. Cool. Just because you don't understand how it works, please explain. Your questioning is legitimacy because you have not tasted success. Are you saying you're one of his MBA and found success? Man, this feels just like a hit piece. Purpose, I don't really know who you are. You've never been on the live chats, but I'm going to take you at your word that you've been watching me a long time and saving up for it and happy with it. And for that, I'm sorry. You see, there's a trend here of comprehension, not trying to throw shade. That's just been my point. These guys are having a debate with no reason for us to get in the middle of it. Charlie wins the game. Jordan wins the short-term plays. Charlie's meta strategy and winning approach is unmatched. Well, thanks. Exactly my thoughts. Shallow and surface level. Jordan seemed offended. His energy was way too negative. Thank y'all. Somebody at CTC said you're a clown. Well, they are a clown college, so I imagine they know exactly what a clown looks like. If somebody came to any YouTube video expecting to see you show the framework, you are stupid. Charlie philosophy is simple, and simple things are not easy to follow. Please see the YouTube video for the hack that they can implement currently. They don't understand the business goal. Hey, thanks, Vats. I don't know that I would say that people are stupid, but I do think that maybe their expectations are not likely to be met because they are unrealistic. Anyway, hey, chat, how we doing over here? I see dozens and dozens of folks online. We're going to get to you here in a minute. Corey says I was curious about what section of this course have changed you to a bit into Andromeda. None. What we talk about has been the same way to run ads for nearly over half a decade now. Andromeda making that way more effective means that we don't change anything because we're aligning ourselves with best business practices and operating a cash flow machine with respect to being a good business partner to Facebook. Their business model hasn't changed. And, well, neither has how to make money. So what we do hasn't either. Thanks for sharing. You're welcome. I want to start in-house for an agency. That would be a good direct outreach would be a good idea. I really want to get hired, but I don't want to wait for job listings. I do have a video on the Disruptor Academy YouTube channel about how to make 6 figures as a media buyer. It's a way more in-depth version of this. And there's even like a ChatGPT, quiz you can take that tells you the best jobs to take based on your personality and your skill sets. Go take a look at that. 1 Advantage Plus sales campaign, 2 ad sets, 10% a budget for current customer, 90% a budget for new customer. I don't know how you're adjusting for this. Basically, both of the same ad sets, loads of social proof. I mean, cool. This tells me maybe it's an ABO, and I'm assuming your budget just for new is because you're optimizing towards new customers, or maybe you have exclusions or something. Maybe 10% is for retention. I don't know if there's a question here. I have a question on how you're doing it and why. But I don't hate the idea of having some segmentation for new customers. That's cool. This Jordan fella accuses of personal attacks. But that's all he did. Yeah. And Purpose is on her back. Like, you did not just say that. I don't know what's going on, Purpose. So you're kind of all over the place. That's cool. Handled some elements better, showing an ad account. Yeah, sure. I think the value definitely got diluted from animosity. I agree with that. And those smirks, absolutely right. Like, somebody's been eating poop all day. They got that shit-eating grin. Yeah. Shit content from one of the best in game. This is like a missed penalty. This is not serious, Charlie. Focus on, hey, look, thank you for saying I'm one of the best in the game. I'm sorry this video didn't work for you. And this is the how to scale Facebook ads with Andromeda. I've got more videos coming. And not every video is going to be a banger. Cristiano Ronaldo is going to miss a kick. I will try to do better. All right, man, I love the energy, kept me engaged. I'm currently selling a product in both seasonal, Christmas, and Father's Day, and it's typically a one-off product. Once you have it, you'll never need another one. Am I getting the sense from the way you worded things that Andromeda is more tailored to recurring customers? Andromeda doesn't care about what your business model is. Your business will struggle if you don't have multiple touch points of how to sell products. So my advice is, it has nothing to do with Andromeda, but it's an overall just business principle. If you have a product that somebody only buys once and they never buy again, you are a salesperson, not a business. You have a product, not a brand. So that'd be kind of where I go with it. David, this is one of the better ones. It's all about creative. Yeah, far more than account structure. Yeah, this is the guys from Ridge talking about the best AI strategy for meta growth. I've been doing things wrong and follow X amount of gurus in this new update, mainly meta in general, and all of it's debunked in this video. Thank you so much. I'm glad you enjoyed it. That was a very long video. It was over an hour, where I was reviewing somebody else's video. This guy, Matt, who, by the way, afterwards wrote me and said, thank you for being so respectful. That was a great video. Keep doing what you're doing. And he watched my channel. So, Matt, if you're watching, good job. Hi, Charlie. Hope you're doing well. Recently stumbled across your YouTube channel. Been asking and watching a lot of your videos, essentially on the Andromeda update. Thank you for transparency and important information. My question is the following. How would you go about testing a new product when it comes to media buying? What type of ads would you run? I would not run ads for a new product. Don't test the market with ad dollars if you can help it. Do it organically. Do it with email. Any other way. I really would not be focused on using ad dollars. I really recently subscribed because of your valuable content. I have a clothing brand. My budget is so low. By the way, chat, after this, we're going to get to you all. Okay, so looks like there's 92 folks in here. We're going to get to you in a minute. Clothing brand. My budget is very low, around $60 US, spread across multiple campaigns and ad sets. Why? Half that budget is allocated to a catalog campaign. This is my entire product list. Okay. Still testing some manual ads. Frequency around 2. Is that by day, by week, by month? Is too many? Is too low? Oh, this is the same person from before. Just a more in-depth question. Got it. A few questions. Do you think this lower CPM, higher frequency with attributed purchases is a good ad? Does it deserve more spend? I don't know. It seems like my catalog ads across the entire funnel. The catalog is very good engagement. How can I tell which part of the funnel that Meta is using this catalog in? That's a 4PI analysis. If you want to increase your spend, but you don't know whether to increase the spend on testing of the catalog, I would, if you are running a clothing brand and your catalog is making sales, focus on the catalog. And you can even run different ad product sets with the catalog for your best sellers, or things that are out of stock, stuff like that. Make sure that it's optimized to have a dynamic catalog to make it a little bit better. But yeah, that's how you see where it's going, the 4PI analysis. And we have a video coming out on that here really soon. Okay. Let's get to the chat here. Let's see. Streaming to a profile. Man, it looks like, did the comments go away? Can I only go back to here? Really? What's going on? Well, that's a bummer. Is it all in the private chat? No. Comments? Oh, here we go. Here we go. Oh my God. All right. Hey, You are top. Okay. I own a perfume brand, but I'm stuck to scale my business. Is there any video and strategy you would suggest? I would take a look at the how to scale Facebook ads, how to crush Facebook ads on a low budget from my other channel, which is the Disruptor Academy channel. Did you know he has a nice angle about volume when he showed you a meta presentation? Yeah. How to become your student? You can check out the Meta MBA program right here. You can also go to Disruptor Academy. Google it, go to my site, Disruptor School, and check out Disruptor Academy. It's, I think, one of the best ways. My goal is, if you can't afford the MBA, you go to Disruptor Academy, and then we work on your business until you can afford it. It's funny that they're not listening to Meta when it comes to spinning up hundreds of ads. Yeah, they're only listening to the part of the conversation that they want. Yeah. What business would those be? Affiliate shops? Sure. Yeah. What businesses may or may not benefit from doing things in that way? That's a good example. I have a question for engagement campaign. If I have different kinds of tech products, should I use one campaign, one ad set for each product, or should I keep them all on the same ad set? No test needed. If it's an engagement campaign, Griffin, then it doesn't matter because the objective has nothing to do with performance. It's all just about engagement. So there's no need to differentiate. So it's good to have a campaign based on the objective. If your objective is different products, drive revenue, do different ad sets or even campaigns, I would agree, Francis. But if it's an engagement campaign, then it doesn't really matter. Do you read the chat or just comments? We are now into the chat. Let's see. Thought on edge tagging and first click attribution for crediting purchase events. I don't care. This approach would theoretically reduce the power of retargeting. Closer ads would be while empowering prospecting ads. None of this matters to me. Attribution is the only value of attribution is that it teaches the machine what to do more of. Attribution is not a data point we should be making decisions on when it comes to managing our ad account, although that's some higher level thinking. There's a lot of different ways people look at attribution. The honest truth is every business model works differently, so there is no one size fits all solution. But you also can 100% get by without any attribution. Businesses have for thousands of years. Maybe not thousands. Who knows? I don't know when the first business was started. But anyway, they didn't have attribution. That's how I have it. But after Andromedas, everyone says you need just one campaign. I love that the one campaign strategy I brought 5 years ago is now something that everybody says you need. But like I say, if you want to know what everyone's going to be talking about in years from now, you can pay attention to my channel now. They're getting really close to basically just quoting my videos from 2022. But hey, awesome. People seeing success. Let's do it. Just small stuff like tech, headphones. So I guess one campaign in different ad sets. Not if it's an engagement campaign. It doesn't matter. If it's a sales campaign, if you have a lot of stuff, you might just get away with just a catalog. I go by Francis. Ignore that all Christian stuff. Thank you. Is this engagement, not sales? Yes, engagement campaign. Is your program good for companies just starting the Facebook journey? Linda, again, feel free to also message me on socials. I'm at CT the Disruptor everywhere, or email info@Disruptor School. I'd be glad to help you find the right fit. But yes. Okay, I missed that part. In the case you're trying to find the product, yeah, engagement won't do that. Engagement will, because I sell through chat. I don't have a website yet, so throwing engagement is good. Cool. Soon websites will be done too. Griffin, if you're selling through chat, do you have ManyChat attached? Because you can run an engagement campaign to all of your content and then have ManyChat, and you're not actually seeing what product works. You're seeing what ad is the best at selling a product. I'm already at proven products around 5x ROAS. Awesome. Spend 3 times more money. We're just yapping here. Okay. I'm curious to take on this. If fall products are doing well, then I would not have to battle them each other. If all products are doing well, then it would not have them battle each other. Each will reach a different audience and buyer, so I'd split the ad set. Yes, but why would you spend money on one where you make $5 and another where you make $100? Every time you invest in making less money, you make less money. I don't care that you're selling all of the products. I only want to sell the products where I make the most money. Why not specify on most success instead of any? What do you think about advertising in countries with relatively small population? I see people do it all the time. I got a business that I'm working with that got to $13 million in 2 years, just New Zealand. So you can absolutely do it. Not talking from my butt here. I run a 6-figure account. Okay, Francis. Let's keep going. Would you still recommend not flooding the market with massive amounts of creative and ads in that case? Yes. You're not flooding the market when you run a lot of ads. You're flooding your account. It's not like more people are going to see your ads. It's more like the machine just shows your ads to lower quality individuals. Like, more isn't better unless it's quality or volume. But when it's just more of shit, well, that's not good for anyone. More shit doesn't build a mountain. I don't know. I was trying to make a saying. It didn't come out. Appreciate the good advice. At the end of the day, I still have to test it, though. Another question about Black Friday. Do you use a separate campaign for it? Sure. Depends on the objective. New creative for Black Friday. Serve scale quickly, then dupe. Sure. I wouldn't really rely on the serve scaling too much, but for Black Friday, sure. That campaign isn't going to be around, and you don't have the time to get it out of learning. So just be aggressive, set everything on fire, and run away. If that's what you want to do, cool. Goals to scale sales, more productive. We're just having this full ass conversation. Well, of course, that's what the goal is. But strategy for marketing. Okay, I'm gonna stay out of just Francis and Griffin having a chat. Some quick questions. Google Ads are taking attribution away from Meta. No, they're not. By making it hard to scale. No, they're not. Best way to get regular spend. Google Ads don't take attribution away from Meta. Google's attribution and Meta's attribution, they're both taking credit for a sale if they both see a sale. Most customers are probably going to have more than one touch point, and a lot of them are going to have a touch point on more than one platform. No worries, Griffin, about yapping a lot. Please, that's what this is about. You are the community. I do this for you, so please have a conversation. I just want to stay out of the middle. It doesn't mean no good to argue a point or to provide advice like that doesn't apply. Google Ads are taking attribution away. Best way to go from regular spend into Black Friday. New deals. I would launch your Black Friday campaign and then shift your budgets. Let's see. I'll sign up for the MBA, but the call's next month. Francis, reach out to me. We have added capacity for sales calls. I hired somebody that used to run all my sales calls before because I have a baby coming in like 3 weeks. So my capacity is really restricted. So I'm getting some help. Message me directly, Francis. I will put you in touch with somebody as fast as possible. You might even be able to talk to somebody like tomorrow. Let me know. Let's get you taken care of, okay? Message me at info@Disruptor School. If you want to get in the MBA, we can get you in today if you're just ready to go. But please do. Don't wait for next month. We've doubled capacity, so call the calendar's wide open now. Let me know. Yeah, we yapped a lot. No worries. Interesting. We are a new product and people Googling it. Okay. We need to make sure that Facebook creative drives people to Google gets attributed. Love it. Ultimately, Facebook ads amplify the business model. Part of the business model is everything that happens after the Facebook ads. So more Facebook ad spend and more Facebook sales attributed would also result in more attribution to other platforms. New product and people are Googling it. That's great. I love your thinking here. We just need to make sure that the Facebook creative drives more people to Google ads. That works for me. That's a well thought out plan. What's your issue with surf scaling? My issue with surf scaling is that it creates ad fatigue and ultimately prevents the machine from getting to a place of stability, but it's really strong, especially if you need to scale quickly and you don't intend you don't intend to have that campaign run for a long time. If the integrity of the data within that campaign is not necessary, then surf scale all day. If it's going to be if you plan on having that campaign live 3 months from now, surf scaling is probably not the best way unless you're just trying to find the ceiling and then protect it. But I think it depends on speed and goals. Again, different plans for different people, right? That's why I'm here. I'm reaching out. Francis, I love that. Just email me so we can talk that's not live on this call so that we can get you on, have a back and forth and figure things out. But please, info@disruptorschool.com. Message me on any social. Let's just we got to have a ability to have a back and forth. That's not the comment section on YouTube of a live video. So let's see. There's no setting for splitting attribution. Not between platforms. Now you can do that with 1,000 different attribution pieces of software. My argument is that it doesn't really matter. Either you make more money or you don't. I want the machine to be smart, and I want to make more money. Arguing over who gets credit for the work of the whole team doesn't accomplish that goal. What's your good result for your scaling strategy long term? I mean, I think I laid it out earlier. If you can say yes to increasing the budget 5%, 3 times a week, you'll go from $500 to 130,000 in a year. You might not be able to afford that. You might not be able to say yes every time. But like, the point is, create operational efficiencies to allow you to have an added budget to invest in ads, and then increase your budget with the ads you have. If the ads you have won't let you get there, find whatever ad is doing its job most poorly, and then very specifically test to improve that ad. So you take your worst employee and you replace them with one who's better. All right. Well, here's what I'm going to do for you, by the way. I'm going to just go ahead and screenshot this and send it to my team. All right, Francis, we're going to do this real quick because I'm going to just bother them. And where's the MBA sales channel? There we go. Sales team. Cool. And then we're just going to go ahead and add this. Boom. Cool. Upload. There's my desktop, my screenshot. Boom. Let's talk to this guy ASAP. Done. All right, Francis, you should be expecting something from us. Okay. Hopefully. There we go. Charlie, thank you. No problem, Daniel. And Francis. Okay, one last thing. I understand the team thing, but I can't make the best players better if I don't see their personal results. I don't want to make the best players better. I want to make the worst players better. It's not about if Michael Jordan is on the court by himself, if Cristiano Ronaldo is against 11 people, doesn't matter how good he is, he's going to lose every game. But if you take the worst player on your team and you make them stronger, if you take your weakest link and make it stronger, the whole chain can handle more load. That's what it's really about. It's not about finding the one thing you can't scale and making it better. It's about finding the thing that won't let you scale and improving it. That's the whole game. All right, we're going to turn back on the live stuff here. What if it's not the weakest link because of its attribution missing? If attribution is missing, it's missing across all things. So you can still compare all of the data to itself relatively. And with the 4PI, you'll still be able to understand how the ads are being used. There we go. Guess it's a win-win. I'm done. Hey, look, Francis, you spent your time here, and I respect that. All right, let's get to it. We got a lot more to go through. Okay, so what happens when you take a week off? Oh my God. Okay, do you optimize for maximize value or maximize number of conversions? I generally do number, but there is an argument for value depending on the situation. 90% of the time it's number, but there are exceptions to the rule. But that's a great video on how to just build the 3-2-2 method ads. Charlie, you said in this video you turn off the ads which don't get any spend, but the ones whose CPA and GPT was higher. What if the ad at the top of the funnel was complementing other ads? How do I diagnose that? It might very well be, but in this video, what I'm talking about specifically is if I've got 1,000 ads running, if I'm in Jordan Menard's account, I'm probably not launching another ad for like 6 months. I'm just going through and saying, this thing earned spend, the CPA was above average, and the GPT was below. I'm going to get rid of it. All I'm going to do is take his spam, his giant, messy, just hornet's nest of junk, and I'm going to just pull out all the nuggets. I'm going to pull out all the treasure. I'm going to clear away all of the shit, and then have a hyper-efficient thing so I understand what actually is good and what isn't. You can't really figure out what's top of funnel or complementing other ads if the system is so complex that you can't understand what it's doing. Basically, if you can't measure it, then you can't improve it. So, yeah. Are these audience definitions valid still post Andromeda? Yes. Great question. All right, Charlie, do you think, man, we got an all-star commenter here. Okay. All right, Charlie, do you think creating 2 campaigns separately for male and female makes sense from talking to them with different ads? I would think it only makes sense if they behave differently. If a female buyer has a different CPA, if the PSM on a female buyer is dramatically different than a male buyer, then yes, I would separate them. If the profitable scaling margin is the same, then it doesn't matter. We're in the premium healthcare segment. We run 3 campaigns at the moment: lead gen, conversion, and a click to WhatsApp ads. Yeah, okay. Retargeting page engagers. It isn't working well. Our CPMs are low and we're getting leads, but they aren't quality. What would you change? I would have a way of qualifying the leads. Is there a way for me to go through your lead form and say, this is a good lead, this is a bad lead? If I can identify a certain segment of leads that are just not good enough, can I identify that? Or ones that are really good, can I identify that? And I'll add that as a second column inside of my Facebook ads dashboard. And that way I can then optimize through lead gen efforts to remove the ones that are of lower quality. Charlie, with dynamic ads, you cannot customize the format. Looking concepts feels bad with 9x16. How do you overcome it? I don't worry about it. If you want something that looks better than 9x16, run a 9x16 ad. You don't need every ad to work for every place. You want the ad to do the job that it needs to do in the place that it does its job well. Just because somebody is like the greatest hostess at the restaurant doesn't mean she's the best chef. And if she's the best chef, it doesn't mean she should be greeting people at the door. I know a lot of chefs that have terrible interpersonal relationship skills, but she might be the best at cooking the food. Ask people to do their job. That's all I would say. And no, how does this affect lead generation campaigns? I mean, it's essentially all the same thing. E-commerce and lead gen is the same thing. The first sale is a lead. So there's all insights apply to both. Why do you think retargeting makes sense for a premium segment as it is high value purchase? We need to chase them top of the funnel. I don't hate the idea of trying to retarget with a higher value offer. Go for it. We call that a rebuttal upsell. I've been teaching that for 10 years. I'm glad I'm not the only one put up by the vague overhyping and moralization. I mean, I just want to know concretely what works differently now and why. Not the manifesto on this update is teaching performance marketing, much needed lesson. Paul, then that video wasn't right for you. Hopefully the next one is. I get what you're saying, but 322 just doesn't work anymore. False. We've tried approaching it from different angles, but nothing seems to be clicking for us since the Andromeda update. Well, then it's not 322 ads. Giving the machine the opportunity to show ads to people isn't the reason the ads are failing. 322 ads work just as well as they always have. I suspect we'll see more and more people talking about them. I've already seen a lot of people that said, run 100 campaigns and never run dynamic creative, now saying run 1 campaign and you should use flex ads all the time. Where people are starting to adopt what I said in 2023. And we're right on schedule, right? What do I say all the time? If you want to know what people are going to talk about in 2 or 3 years, watch my channel now. 1 campaign with dynamic creative was the playbook in 23 on this channel. It was the playbook on 22 on this channel, although my videos weren't nearly as good then. So it's, again, just playing out. If you approach it from different angles, but nothing seems to be clicking, I'd say that the angles aren't good. The execution isn't good. I don't know how to really answer that question other than go to your best customers, figure out why they bought, and then try to find more of them. Bro, the ability you have to say nothing is unbelievable. Well, dude, let me help you out here. Ready for this? Nothing. I'm glad that you find that unbelievable. I just did it. It's very believable. I just heard me do it. But I appreciate that. 8 ROAS. The name of your channel is the number 8, and then a metric that has no business value. Cool. I confirm this is next level yapping. Hey, look, if it's not right for you, if you don't want to know how to scale based on a better quality business, then don't do it. Every new video is the exact opposite of the previous one. Well, that's absolutely not true. I've been making the same videos for years, but hey, I've never seen you comment, and everybody seemed to spam this video as soon as the debate was announced. So I'm going to go ahead and assume you probably subscribe to a couple of channels of folks who don't agree with what I'm saying, and you're just here to spam, and thank you for the comments. Most people seem to have an opinion. Looking at the comments here are on socials. Yeah, absolutely. I think a lot of people came very much to just spam the chat. Your videos are all sales letter, no practical value. Cool. A bunch of people who've never been here before. By the way, I have the stats on how often these people comment. The majority of these comments are the very first one they've ever made on any video. I've been making, my YouTube channels have been around for 5 years. If this is the first video you ever saw, I'm sorry they didn't meet your expectations. If you came with everybody else and dropped comments at the exact same time, maybe it has more to do with why you were all here than the actual content itself. I came to the comments, same the damn thing. Sum it up, we're marketers. We have attention span of gnats. I'll just run the Andromeda and ChatGPT and see the best way to adapt. Cool, Velocity Media. Then why are you watching anything on YouTube? Just throw it into ChatGPT and ask. If you have the attention span of a gnat, then what you're telling me is I shouldn't use you because you're not willing to invest the time and energy to get better at your job. I have the attention span of a gnat. I make the specific effort of fighting my natural stuff to work better. This was a great video. Yeah, thanks, Paul. Paul has commented. Sean has not. There you go. Well, I'd love to see you just straight to the point like you did with the Matt Shriver video. Yeah, Jose, and I appreciate that. That was the purpose of the Matt Shriver video, was very much to speak directly and to the point. I see the chat blowing up a little bit more. We're getting there, chat. Look, I'm trying to just clear things out. Yeah, okay. Let's maybe show some actual numbers. We show actual numbers as well. On Monday, we'll be doing that with the live ad account. I provide more than one kind of content here. If you didn't like this content, but you want to see other stuff, we got it for you. I'm trying to sound smarter and decorate with big words and concepts like second scale. I don't know if the word second or scale is too big of a word, but you do have to brand concepts in order for people to understand things and be able to call back to them later. And you're right. I didn't say how to implement it on the actual business. It was a 10-minute video. If it was a couple hour-long video, it probably could have gotten deeper. And at the end, you say, love your content, though, just a little feedback. And here's the thing, Jose, I appreciate that feedback. And I do want to make better videos. It's just not every video can be everything to everyone. Some people said that my videos were too in the weeds and I didn't actually talk about the work. So then I drop a video about the actual work and not in the weeds. And everybody's saying, hey, you never talk about it in the weeds. But hey, I'm glad you enjoyed the Matt Shriver video. This was a different style of talking the same subject. I try to hit both sides because some people aren't going to watch it for an hour long. But thank you for your comments. Can you please show us an example, like a practical case study where Andromeda made it better compared to the old model? Yeah, I mean, we do have case studies that we're going to be dropping here. And to be fair, it's hard to point to what we do works and the new method has just made it easier. It's hard to prove that. But in showing business after business after business that has scaled because of it, you know, we can go in that direction. Let's see. I just noticed somebody said ABO. Michelle, I mean, I can go with ABO. Please don't do that. We'll get to more of that later. I'm coming back to you. Okay, please don't leave. We're gonna get to you. We're at 114 people here, and so we just don't go away. All right. You've already spent billions on ads. Yes. Between my agencies, my brands, and my clients. Yes. I mean, I was spending $1 million a day at one point. You know, you rack up days with you rack up days with $1 million ad spends, you get to $1 billion pretty quick. And that was over a decade ago. So just, you know, you've been around long enough, and I'm not the only one. I'm not the only one even making the claim, and I'm definitely not the only one who have done it. So, yes. Manny, so basically make the best quality ads. That's not what I've said at all. I didn't mention ad quality. Okay, I said that. I didn't mention ad quality at all. So nothing has changed. You can still produce and launch volume as long as quality is great. Manny, I didn't mention ad quality or volume. I that had nothing to do with the video. Manny, I don't know what video you saw. But all I did was say that being more complicated doesn't help, especially when scaling the business model is the goal. If you want to make better ads, go for it. The best ad in the world in a ad system will not be nearly as good as the best system in the world with a decent ad. Decent is good enough. Focusing on repeat customers and cash flow instead of immediate profits. Oh, thanks, Buzz Boomer. Isn't the goal of anyone to try to build a long-lasting brand? Ronaldo, you'd think so. But then you talk to people like Jordan Menard. Well, that's not what they're trying to do at all. I'm so mad at Zuckerberg right now. Dude, you're probably not alone. Hey, from the chat. Michelle, I think this is you. Is it Michelle? I'm guessing. One country per campaign or one campaign and one ad set per country. If it's an ABO, you can do ad sets all day. If you want to be successful, I'll put it this way. It's one campaign per business objective. If all of your countries perform differently, do you need to support more than one? Andromeda went live on Meta on December 24. Why is this video coming out 7 hours ago? Yeah, it's my 4th video on Andromeda. And hey, everybody was talking about it. Least I could do is help people out. 13-minute word salad that boils down to make good ads. Never said make good ads. I don't know how people got that out of that video. I'm going to have to go watch that video again and see, like, well, if I never said a thing and I never talked about the thing and I never even approached that subject, why are these folks that never commented on my videos before talking about it? Oh, that's actually probably it. It's nothing to do with the content itself and everything to do with other things. Fantastic videos. Regards. Thanks, Nick. I'm only 20 minutes into the video and I already want to thank you for making it. You're welcome. I know these marketers mean well, but their explanations have been impossible to comprehend due to the lack of technical prowess on the subject. Awesome. And here's the thing. These videos, and this is a response video to Matt Shriver, their video might be perfect for some people. Me talking about things in a different way might be perfect for you. Hopefully, the confusion will no longer bog you down. I also think you did a great job of not humiliating the other person and politely reframing. Yeah, why would I want to talk smack about somebody else? He did a good job. I just wanted to call out some issue. Voted yes for the review video and enjoying every minute of it. Fantastic. Do post IDs still work? Yes. I can't find the ID once I enter into an existing post, just other than brand name and logo. Check to the comment section. Go to the inbox in your business manager. You'll find all your posts. I learned a lot on the Exalted 322 ad. How do I see the most affected image? You don't, and it doesn't matter. But go to the comment section, the inbox of your business manager, and you'll see the post IDs that are most effective. Great breakdown, Charlie. How would you apply this to a business that runs on recurring billing instead of repeat purchases? Okay, it's basically the same thing. We sell one main product and then charge monthly for service. Yeah, so you have repeat purchases. Most of our conversions happen over the phone, not leads or online checkouts, and that's setup. How should we think about second scale? Great question. Ultimately, I would be, if the conversions are happening over the phone and somebody ultimately gets entered into a CRM of any kind, pass that entrance back into Facebook and say this is a buyer on recurring billing. Now the product that you sell is a lead and the charging of the monthly is a purchase. And there you go. Yeah. Sorry, I'm an hour and 30 minutes in, so I'm a little frazzled. But here we go. Thanks for the good content. I really like to know how to do catalogs in post-Andromeda era. Everything's the same. I'm thinking about including all my products into catalog ads. Sure. One is the primary top of funnel. One that's bottom. Cool. Both broad targeting, same products. Love it. Just different primary text. I think that's a good way to go. Do you still think it's good to target audiences that triggered events on a website? Sure. Yes, Andromeda already retarget them. Yes, Machine's been doing that since day one. Doesn't hurt to do it again. Great video. How would you structure a campaign for sales call funnel for a higher ticket offer that has a longer sales cycle? What can you measure? I have a high ticket sales funnel, and I'm running ads for it. The MBA program, right down here. Yeah, it's a high ticket. It's $10,000. Run ads, track when somebody books a call, then take your type form or whatever you're doing to qualify somebody for that sales call, run some analysis behind it and understand what's a good lead and what's a bad lead based on just conversion rate and all of that good stuff. Understand what the cost of a good lead is, and then focus on the ads to get you that lead for less than it's worth. For instance, you come to the MBA program, you're going to find a type form. One of the questions is, how much are you currently spending? For folks that say they spend over $100,000 a month, my close rate is 80%. Now, the program is $10,000, so that means that lead is worth $8,000. If somebody says, I've never invested in education before, my close rate's about 1 in 20. So 5% close rate on $10,000, that lead is worth $50. Can I get the $8,000 lead for less than $8,000? It's probably a lot easier than getting the $50 lead for less than $50. I'm just going to do that. Purpose is, how do you optimize for the second sale? You focus on the products and the offers and the services that more lead towards that. And really, it's about selling the steak, not the sizzle. That's why we use the example of the steakhouse. Alan, Ducky, I have fear to put more ads in the control ad set because I don't know what to do if I reach 50 ads in the control ad set because that's a max. If you ever reach this problem, which some people do, you can just delete the old ads. You can always recover a deleted ad, by the way. So don't worry about it. What's the difference between an ad that aims for any purchase versus the lifetime value? The cohort. That's right. So the hook and messaging the audience, go over the actual design and copy the ad. This is good stuff. What you've been saying lately is clicking so much more with me. I feel like I'm suddenly awake and like, yep, that's what you mean. I love it, Kaz. Fantastic. Kaz is somebody that was a YouTube fan, then joined the academy, and now she's in the MBA. And that's what we do here, right? That's a fantastic progression. Andromeda, at 17, you say selling the same product, but it can have different use cases. Back rehab, home Pilates for fitness. Should it be in the same campaign? Yes. From other videos, Charlie, I'd say yes. Okay, Alexander. Yeah, I love it. Brilliant. Thank you so much. So you let Meta work out who the best persona is, and you pull them on the same campaign. Yeah, and then turn off the ads that attract a lower quality persona. There you go. Hey, brother, you forgot to attach the playlist. I help me out with that, Saddam. Okay, you need to make shit for fitness coaches with DM ads, no pixel. Let me see what I can do, BF Fit. Okay. I've been waiting for this. Lots of shitty takes on the rollout. Thank you so much. I pivoted from 60 plus audiences to abroad based on age and gender, the new product landing page. Even a new campaign, Facebook is still serving 65 plus. How do I fix this audience bleed? Honestly, Paul, I think, yeah, if you're only targeting 18 to 55, but you're still serving the 65 plus, you might have some audience bleed issue. What you can do is run engagement stuff on your organic content, targeting that younger audience. And then the machine's just going to see a higher volume of data that reflects that younger audience. And your ad's going to be served less and less often to people that don't fit it. You just need more data that looks like the people you're trying to target and less data that looks like the people you're trying to move away from. Hopefully that helps. And Alexander just smashing the chats. I love it. Made them dumb. I don't even know what that means, but all right. Hey, great video. Excited for your face off with that Twitter guy. What's GPT? It's gross profit per transaction. You keep making the same videos, a new rollout that haven't changed anything. I mean, I don't think this is the same video, BF Fit, but like one video was well over an hour long. Another video was the announcement. But okay. Who believes this rubbish? I don't know. Shift yawns shift, but he's the guy behind Ridge. I might as well give him the space to speak his mind. Man, you're the GOAT since 2022. I'm here to change my life. Love that, man. Thank you so much. What video setup do you use? Love it. Well, thank you so much. I use a Sony A7C. Boom. I have a Shure MV7 up here. And then I have an Amaran set of lights. I have the Verge Max. And then 2 Panos 60s. Want to see something fun? Check this one out. All right, you ready for this? Ready for this? Okay. Boom. Yeah. All right. Now, here is the fill light. It's up here. Now, here is the key light right over here. Boom. Oh, nope. That's not what I want to do. Here's the hair light over here. Ooh. And then, there we go. That's how we put it all together. Anyway, let's keep going. Charlie, is sending visitors from ads to homepage the best strategy moving forward, even after Black Friday through the year? I mean, a lot of people are seeing success with it. So keep going. Thank you for your content. Early stage low data using strategic structure to help the algorithm learn faster. Later stage high data open up and let meta add. Yeah, I don't hate this. Early stage strategic structure, meaning broad retargeting and barren development. Later stage, just like go for the kill. Love it. I understand your point a few years ago, running this ad under different titles could be effective, but now the focus should shift entirely on creative since distinct ads that pursue the same objective. Sure. I think there are advantages to having them under different titles, but it's about what you can do well. Do you think a small indie brand selling physical products with only 100 to 150 max as daily budget can still stand a chance? Absolutely. I think you have a better chance. The reason that Meta keeps making these updates, Andromeda and Advantage Plus and all of that, is to make it easier for people with smaller budgets to be more successful. When people quote when people quote Meta updates as a way to make really successful brands more successful, it's because they weren't paying attention to why the updates are being done. So that's one reason why Jordan presenting a deck meant for the disruptor group, like I'm not a part of it, really just kind of undermines this whole legitimacy to begin with. But anyway, how about a personal auction? I don't even know what that means. Creative volume after this update, you can say with really low volume, just solve the problems you have, don't create more problems. Charlie, just on exclusion, should a local gym in an area with a population of 20,000 exclude people? I wouldn't. Exclude people that are already signed up? I mean, you could. I don't think you're going to get anywhere by doing it. If people see your ad and don't engage, they'll stop seeing your ads. Don't worry about exclusions. You'll be just fine. Chat, I do see you. We're going to try to knock all this stuff out. I'm going to get to 14 days ago, and then we're hitting you back, okay? How does this apply to the independent record industry in today's environment with undervalued music, where streaming pays a fraction of a penny? I'm so confused. Honestly, if you're in the independent music business, I love you. Look, I've got music tattooed on my arm. I used to run a record label. I've been in touring bands. I still that's why I have tattoos and paint my nails and hair and all that stuff. Like I'm a punk rocker from like back in the day at this point. I mean, I'm 41 and I've been playing rock and roll for 30 years. If your goal is to make money by selling the music, you should probably get into another business. It's the unfortunate truth. But the music business existed for decades where selling the music wasn't how people made money. PNP Jazz, if you go back to the big band jazz days and even before then, the jazz from the 30s and 40s, the majority of the money wasn't made on record sales. Record companies existed, but I would go back to see how people used to do it before, honestly, before Led Zeppelin made buying the album mandatory because they released no singles, that fundamentally changed how the music industry monetized attention, that resulted in the boom of the 70s and 80s and 90s music business economy that today's streaming environment undermined. But there was a business model before it. Leverage that. One of your DCT tests have a good CPA but are low on spend. I should keep them on. If they're good, why turn them off? You can absolutely have that. You can absolutely have a campaign stay active with multiple ad sets. All that cares is the bottom line. Okay, Kaz, let's do it. Man, okay, so maybe I was winning so much last time we talked because I had 5 ad sets and 1 ad set with an ABO. Maybe we were supporting each other. You had to figure out how to support it and launch in the same ad set, but I didn't because I got all into talking about AI about it, and it convinced me I didn't have enough for a control group. But now I bet if I go back, okay, I'm going to leave this be because we have another comment from you a few days later where you're like, everything's working. So I think we go, my God, can this guy never have a 10? My God, this guy can never have a video just 10 minutes dropping sauce without losing track. Look, man, it's an hour-long video where I'm reviewing somebody else's stuff. It's not a 10-minute video. And then I did drop a 10-minute video afterwards. Hopefully you saw that. What if your winning ad is a girl styling a backpack? Would it be okay to replicate the same ad in a different scenario, different girl? Sure. If you lower your ad volume and increase your budget, all that will happen is you will see a rise in CPA that becomes unsustainable. False. What's worked for me is launching 20, 30 ads a week with a combination of cost caps. I've been able to consistently spend 2, 3 ads per day on ads. Awesome. Why isn't it 5K? Why isn't it 10? If it's working for you, if the definition of working is I haven't lost ground yet, that's very different than it's scalable. If you spend more money on fewer ads, your CPA might go up according to attribution temporarily. But it could also, your ads will also get better at doing their job. Launching 20, 30 ad creatives, you're basically just saying, well, I have a website and a business model that's effective enough that I just pull lottery tickets constantly. And because I have a market that wants what I have, which is meaning the cost caps work for you, so you don't have to create demand, you're just like trying to come in at the last moment and steal sales from other people that are doing the work to fill the funnel. So you don't own your funnel, but you're doing a good job at stealing sales from other people. I'd argue that's not nearly as sustainable as you might think. And in February, when your cost caps break, please don't blame the machine. You've used an unsustainable tool. Jose, I've been doing what you said is wrong. I turned off all ads that aren't performing, but each time, if you don't mind, I have 3.5 questions. 3.5 questions. Cool. You guys are having a whole conversation in here. I'll let you have it. With cost caps, you need to figure out your AOV and your profit margins. You set a cost cap to be profitable for you. Cost caps don't control your actual CPA. They control for predicted attributed CPA. You need to try to aim for 50 conversions a week, or getting existing customers to buy more often so that you can afford a higher CPA, and then launching less ads because the ones that allow you to increase the budget are the ones you should ride until you get there. Is the real David Voss the trader? Okay. Gangster Insight, thank you. Great content as always. Quick one at 3:30, you explained the best scientific structure. Yes, but you replied to me once in one of your lives saying that I should never isolate the winning ads in another ad set after performing a DCT set. Can you elaborate more on that? Don't immediately isolate, and don't isolate if you don't have to. Alexander says, I love it. Alexander is coming in hot. You tell me your budget at the time. Your budget might be small. Yeah, and not having a large enough budget might very well be an issue. $16 a day. You probably don't have the volume of spend to justify a more complicated system. Why don't they show breakdowns on the creatives and flexible ads? So dumb. They should be. And honestly, why would you want it? I want to see what ad is best. Well, that doesn't help you. Showing the breakdowns for creatives or copy doesn't show you what ad is best. It doesn't show you what creative is best. It doesn't tell you why things are happening. You're not in control of all those things. Don't skip the convos. I'm just answering my own experience. Okay. If I see another convo, okay. I love it. Okay, Jose, gotcha. I mean, you guys are asking questions. All right. Once you set up an ad set, the learning behavior is locked into that ad set. False. Adding new creatives to it will not give them a chance. False. So when you create a new ad set with new creative, if both ad sets die, then just duplicate the best ads from each ad set and create a new ad set. This is the only part that is true. That's a control ad set. When you set up an ad set, the learning behavior is not locked into that ad set. I have a video talking about the learning and the education. Learning happens at every stage. It happens at your ad, the ad set, the campaign, the account, the Facebook page, the Instagram account, and your website. It's way more complicated than it's locked in at the ad section. And if you add new creatives, won't give them a chance. No, it's the reason the new ads aren't getting a chance is because the old ads are already meeting the objective. And if you're running cost caps, why is the machine, if the machine has no data on an ad and you're using a bidding model called like cost caps that are predictive, if I have no data, it's hard for me to predict what's going to happen in the future when I have data someplace else. I think, unfortunately, most of the people that teach cost caps don't know how they work. And they define success as maintaining a certain level of ad spend instead of scaling the business. And then every year they complain a few times when it breaks because we know it's going to happen. But anyway, I won't get into that today. Let's get Money X to the debate. I want this to happen. Absolutely. Man, they're coming after you. Yep, they are. Yeah, and you can see them all in the comment section. What if a store only has a front page, category, and product pages? Cool. There are no landing pages or funnels. Totally fine. Is that something that's missing? Not necessarily. Sending traffic to the front page is not the solution anymore, but it could be. How does your business make money? Do more of that. Two people with different opinions facing each other. Yes. I champion the folks that don't necessarily agree with me. Yeah. Every time you reference that bit, it makes me smile a bit. Yeah, Donnie, you introduced something beautiful into the world. What does GPT stand for? Yeah, we covered this. Okay, cool. I think we are caught up. Whew! Oh my God. All right. Stop sharing here. Okay, man. Next week's not going to be nearly as long because I want to have 3 weeks worth of videos to go through. Okay, cool. Banners, comments. Okay. All right, everybody. Enjoy your family time. Thank you so much. Hello. Thank you for your help. One ad set. Oh, yeah, we addressed this live on the call, but I'm guessing you'll say it doesn't really matter. But ad sets will let Meta determine spend on the best-selling country. The campaign won't. Sure. I would argue that. Why am I mirrored? I just noticed that. What the hell? Just go to the campaigns that are good, the countries that are good enough. How do you tell your clients that, Arthur? Oops, never mind. Okay. I mean, I can go with ABO. I'm just thinking that there's an advantage of throwing things in one campaign. Yes, you could throw it all in one campaign. I would focus on the markets that are actually helpful. Which freedom do you give Meta? Audiences, placements, creatives? Yes. All of the above. I'm going to stay. Awesome. Let me know if I'm off base here, Charlie. Are you big enough to sell in that many countries to need it? Can you make millions in small countries with a good business? Why add complexity? Francis. Perfect. Steven, I want to add another ad set for testing, but I'm resisting it due to all the new Andromeda advice. Suggestions. Do you need new ads, Steven? Do you have the budget to support multiple ad sets out of learning and be able to measure the impact on the business as a whole? The answer is yes. Go for it. I'll say this, Steven. Doing things the right way hasn't changed in like half a decade. The update of Andromeda only made doing things the wrong way more harmful. But what we do here is the right way, and that's why the Andromeda update made what we do even better. All right, I have cheap shipping options, so I advertise in trying to find winners. Okay, Steven, okay. Trying to find winners. Do you need winners or do you need a better team? Do you want one person who could be the lead, or do you want an entire cast? I'd argue that having the best person to play the lead role is great. But if everybody else in the cast is terrible, it's not really going to help. My old winner died. Yeah, so if you've identified what you need, test to get it. Totally on board with that. I'm trying to make this relevant to you, Stephen. I think this is the Stephen from New York with the theater stuff. So if I'm off base, forgive me. I have cheap shipping options, so I advertise in many countries, but Meta throws money at countries that work with small budget and burn money otherwise. Yes, okay. Stephen, I know you are. Yeah, like, it's when people comment all the time, that's great. It's funny when absolute strangers are like, I've been watching forever and this is stupid. Like, okay, homie, I can tell that like you haven't done it and you're here with the 19 other people claiming the exact same shit because like I'm debating the guy that is like your spirit animal. Cool. A troll farm came after me. Thanks for the views. You have to come see the show. Hey, look, I'll be back in Manhattan probably in March or April. I will have a second kid with me. We'll see what we can do. I would really, really like to see the show. I want to. Okay. Per separate country to control or spend. Michelle, as far as controlling the spend, I love it. Thank you, Stephen. I appreciate that. You got ticks waiting for me. I thank you. If I can get some family coverage, grandma, grandpa coming to town, maybe I can take the wife out for just a little show, which makes Manhattan beautiful. That might be a European problem, as the whole EU is comparable to the US. Here's the thing. You don't need all US states. You don't need all countries. Do what you do best. No worry for spamming. You always say to use profits to fund ads, which I agree with, but how is that different from search scaling? 99% of meta gurus say scale 20% each day to not shock the algo. It's a freaking kid show. Bring the kids. Well, maybe the 2-year-old, Stephen. But the 4-month-old at the time, it might not work. But I like where your head is at. Okay, we're gonna make this work, Stephen. Okay, I'm all about it. Okay, Francis, how is that different from search scaling? 99% of meta gurus say scale 20% each day to not shock the algo. Okay, so follow their advice. If it works for them, awesome. I'm not saying it's a bad idea. What I'm saying is that if you use your profit to fund ads, you're always profitable. My only point is, if you are profitable, the more aggressively you move away from profitability, the more likely you are to be less profitable. That's all I'm saying. What's a better long-term alternative? Move slowly. Do you work with Ridge? No, I don't. Just happened to do some interviews with some folks that work at Ridge. And they shared what's working for them. I don't think it's applicable to most people, but most people aren't dropping $200,000 a day. So our advice is different. Have you noticed the effect of outages all year? I've been making ads for 7 years, and this year is the biggest roller coaster. Yes, there's been some bad outages. There are outages every single year. I would say 2 of the biggest roller coasters this year is the release of Andromeda and the change in the macroeconomics of the global economy, which as an American, I have to take responsibility for, even if it's not anything that I support or had anything to do with. But somebody's got to do it, and what least I can do is be like, hey, my country's fucking shit up. We just started ads this year, both Meta and Google. Meta had 2 or 3 times where ads completely dropped day to day. Who cares about day to day? Meta pros never have answers, but great ad survives the up and downs. Yeah, day to day has nothing to do with performance. Do you shut your business because Thursday was a bad day? No. If Friday makes up all the money, great. Maybe Thursday your ads sucked because they were filling the funnel for the weekend. Fantastic. The average matters, but damn, it's annoying. Yes. Fair enough. Please don't skip over the convos. They're asking questions. Okay, I'm trying not to, do you run cost caps? I do. We find that they ruin performance, but that was a while ago, I guess. I don't run them with more than 10 to 15% of my budget because it's a predictive engine. But I don't not use them. In fact, the folks that do them with 100% of the budget are just running my old playbook from years ago that's been recited and put through the mill of like the game of telephone, but they're missing the vital part of it uses more data than it creates to do its job. So unless you're just siphoning the data of somebody else, it will run out. And every year around February and then June, cost caps break. And it's not that they break. It's that the arbitrage of the price of attention that they rely on in order to be effective goes away. There we go. I also enjoy your style. ADD, it's best. My tempo's the same. Cool, man. I'm just being me, you know? Trying to find winners. Americans are cool as long as their hats on right. Hey, you know, thanks, buddy. All right, everyone. Holy hell. That was okay. For those that there's a light right there. Yeah, okay. Boom. Nope. Okay. Everybody, this was a 2-hour live, and it will not be 2 hours next week. Unless you all just constantly just spam the chat. Love it. Charlie Bro, is the ASC CBO strategy still okay? Yes. All right, everyone. I'm going to go get breakfast. It's 11 a.m. and I have had espresso. So stay tuned. I have a video coming out tomorrow on some fun with ARCADs. And then we have an account audit video coming out on Monday. What's the schedule look like? Let me take a look. And then on Tuesday, not that anybody cares, but some of you guys are still here, so I might as well just spill the tea. On Wednesday, we've got a video coming out around how to do creative testing. And over the next few weeks, the videos that we're going to be dropping are... Man, I've been writing all these scripts and recording all these videos. After that, we're going to talk about 4PI. Then we're going to talk about how ad fatigue is bullshit and really like the new method to blow up ad accounts. Then we're getting into how the meta algorithm actually works. And then, let's see, we're getting into GPT versus CPA and why ROAS is bullshit. Those are the next 6 videos. We're also going to do a little bit about partnership ads, some stuff for how to scale agencies. And then it'll be the new year. So yeah, fun stuff. I hope everyone is doing well. Take care. And I'll see you all later. You are all still here. 120 people on Twitter, 14 on YouTube, and somebody on Facebook. Well, everyone, it's been 2 hours. It's been real. Chat, hi. Yeah. Advantage plus or broad, it's the same thing. You can use the original audience for better broad. Otherwise, the Advantage plus is basically just engage shoppers. Anyway, folks, you boys got to go. You boys got to go. You want to chat more? Join Disruptor Academy. We chat in there like this every single day. We do Q&As every week. Deep dives into your stuff constantly. And I'm not even the only coach in there. Everyone, I'll see you guys later. Okay, bye. Play the outro!